Well, good morning, guys. I've still got a screwed up immune system. My body hurts. We're doing this in the house right now because one, workbench is empty, so there's no real reason for me to be out there. And two, they're trimming trees here in my neighborhood, and so I decided it would make more sense to do the video in here. So we're going to talk about a couple of unusual knives. Give me just a second to grab the other one. So now, the first one, I hadn't seen one in a very long time. My buddy Matt asked me, let me slide you guys back here a little bit. Matt asked me if I wanted to see it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then I was like, yeah, I never really got to see one, so I thought I'd do the video. It is the Tekna micro knife. Now, this was one of those things, it was weird, it came out, and it has got, instead of being a switchblade or a folder, it's basically a fixed blade with a fucking sleeve that moves over it. Now, as a novelty, yeah, it's kind of cool, but as a knife, it's just downright horrible. There is no good way to look at it. And so, like, the nice thing about a fixed blade is you can have a larger blade than you can a handle. Something you can't do in a folder. In a folder, your blade has to be smaller than the handle. And there's some people, there's a few companies that get that real well. Chris Reeves knives, their folders are pretty much almost one for one. You're never going to get one for one because there's just no way to do it because of the positioning of the pivot and stuff like that, because your pivot's here, so you lose a little bit of length, and then you can't go beyond the end of the handle. But Ferrum Forge does a good job of blade to handle ratio. Some of the cold steel knives have got a pretty good blade to handle ratio. This isn't a real good example, but I mean, this is for another video I'm gonna do. There's a reason both my Warren Cliffies are on the table. But so this is the Tekna micro knife. There are no markings on it. It's basically just a little spring. And so when you open it, you pull against the spring, and the spring is stretched out. When you push the button, you release the little lock that's holding that in place, and it just snaps down. It's not a great blade. Never going to be something that would be good and sharp or slicey. It's a novelty. You can see the handle's just pinned in there, and then this slides around those two rivets until it gets into a locked position, and then when you push the button, it just slides home, and then you reset that spring, bink, drops back down. Now these were kind of cool. I remember seeing them and thinking to myself, oh, that's kind of cool. That's a kind of cool knife. But really, the whole thing about it is, now it has a pocket clip, but if you look, it's significantly longer than even a fairly large. This is a fairly large folder. It's significantly larger, so it really doesn't serve a purpose. I suppose you could probably get up on somebody and then stab them. It is really thick blade stock that has been ground down, but it's not got much of an edge. There's not much of a taper. As you can see, the edge is just all nicked and chipped up. All forms of nastiness. So 100% a novelty. Now the next unusual knife. This one's not as unusual. I just find it unusual because some of these things that you see just don't make sense. It's a European-made knife, and I think it's Italy. Comes in this case, it is a Wander Tactical, and this is the Mistral, M-I-S-T-R-A-L, Mistral. It says on it, Wander Tactical, built to last. Sharp blade. Now, it comes in this unique case. We used to have tools that would come that way. Parts that would come this way in, like, you'd have to give it a turn and then pull it out. And inside here is a huge chunk of hot spots. So this is one of those knives that, you see that hole right there? This is one of those knives that kind of does that thing. Lion Knives had a knife that did it. Where's my part at? This is one of those knives that they market that has a locking pin that comes with it. And so you get this locking pin, and the whole thing on it is where's the threaded part? So this side is threaded. So on the show scale, you take this pin and you put it in and you just screw it all the way through. Takes a little while. There we go. And once you get it screwed through, that knife will not unlock. And basically, the thought process is now you've made that into a fixed blade knife. But here's the thing. If you want a fixed blade, get a fixed blade. If you want a folding knife, get a folding knife. There is no way to get the best of both. There are knives that come close. I do have to admit, there are knives that come close, but they don't have this intrusive pain in the butt pin, and I'm referring to the triad locks. Now this knife, we're going to go a little bit further into depth on this one because this knife it's all shades of horrible, actually, to tell you the truth. Bob Wanamaker from Helltown Knives sent this to me, and I had hopes that it was going to be cool. It does have a unique locking system. I wish you could see it. There's a thing, but the problem is that's what you get. When you try to flip it, that's what you get. And if you flip it hard enough, it hurts. Now, Elliot Williamson has got very, very calloused fingers, as do I. And when you get this thing flipped hard enough to get past, I don't know what that little detent in there is, but when you get past, you hear it click right there? That's where it stops. If you flip it hard enough to get it to actually flip open, that jimping is just horrendous. This thing is just hotspot city. All of these. So on top of the fact that it is a novelty in itself, it is a very uncomfortable knife. Really fat, thick pocket clip. Every one of these milled chamfered line, none of this is chamfered. It is, if you can see it, let's get in there. All those sharp, abrupt, finished. You could not use this knife. Like, I don't think this is a usable knife, because by the time you'd get around to using it for any purposes, your hands, it would tear your hands up, tear your pockets up, because all of that texturing is on both sides. Now, it does have a reversible pocket clip, so you could carry it left or right hand. I don't like much about this knife. Not got very good smooth action at all. Uncomfortable in the hand. And on top of that, it is not sharpened very well at all. It is pretty horrible. So, let me see if I can find the paperwork in here. There's some paperwork in this box. It's just... So, Wander Tactical, dear fellow Wanderers, welcome to the Wanderer Club. Now, if I remember right, I think these are made in Italy. We warranty each and every knife, tactical research team folders to be free of defects in materials and workmanship. For the life of the knife, we will repair or replace with new products at our discretion any product that is defective. Wander Tactical Research Team does not warranty its product against normal wear or misuse. See, when you guys read a warranty, normal wear and misuse is where a lot of companies will back a warranty and then they say normal wear or misuse. Well, basically, from their perspective, anything that you do to that knife that causes any kind of damage could be considered misuse. A knife is meant to cut. If you do any of the things that you see people doing with fixed blade or folding knives in videos, there's a good chance that's misuse. Let's see, what else do they say? This warranty does not cover normal wear, wrong sharpening of the blade, damage caused by neglect or misuse, repairs to your knife performed by any source other than Wander Tactical Team unconditionally voids the knife's warranty. So basically, you sharpen it wrong, you do anything to repair it, you take it apart to clean it, you basically have voided your warranty. And that's, some companies, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have taken knives apart, I have resharpened knives and sent them to Microtech, and and they've still done it for me. Because my sharpening jobs are not done, and I take a knife apart, I don't damage it. I've taken my DOC apart. I actually had to send it in, and I think I'm going to have to send it back in because it has a minor issue. But there's things that you can do on a knife that you're fine, but then the rest of it is pretty much, you can get yourself into avoided warranty really easily with some of those things. I was trying to keep the light from hitting the lens. It was a pain. So yeah, so that's 2 little unusual knives. There might be a video about this knife, but you can see right there, I don't know if this was sharpened by someone else or if it came that way. There's an entire area right there. It's just horrible. I am going to sharpen this before I send it back to Bob, because I don't see sending someone a dull knife. But the thing is, here's the other thing about it. These are like a $450 knife for just a little bit more. Oops, I missed. You can get a knife that actually flips and is not so ungodly thick that you could actually sharpen and is comfortable and smooth. And I don't just mean a Ferrum Forge. I'm talking about a lot of other knives. This just happened to be here, and we're talking about, like, if this wasn't a maker's choice, you'd be looking, I think these went for $550, $100 more than that. Way better. I love this thing. Love this thing. So yeah, so that's just a little bit of strange knife. You guys know I have strange knives in my collection. I have a couple of the triple actions from Cold Steel. I have a couple other odd, strange knives, but I mean, they're not as uniquely useless as this one. I think this is what I'm going to make this video. Uniquely useless. That's going to be the name of the video. This really doesn't serve a purpose. You can't use it. It's not an EDC. It's way too big. It's unreliable. I don't have faith that that little plastic, whatever pin is holding that plastic piece out of the way. You know, basically, it's like putting a sharpened pencil in your pocket. It may puncture something. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. I'm trying to rest and get my immune system back in check. I had a doctor's appointment on Monday, which was yesterday. I went. They put me on a higher dose of my immunosuppressors, which, like I said before, they make me feel miserable. So, and I'm taking something else along with it, which is actually, I have to take it for this week and next week. It is one of the drugs that's in a chemotherapy cocktail. Years ago, I took it every week. I have to take it for 2 weeks this time to try and get my immune system back down in check so I'm not miserable. Everything hurt to get out of bed this morning. And so they're starting to see my RA numbers drop, my RA panel numbers drop. So that's a good thing. So hopefully I will get back to where I was and I can do more stuff. The thought of just even getting in the car and driving to the shop and working on a knife right now sucks. Just even thinking about it, I dread it. The thought of going out and sitting at my workbench right at the moment sucks. And I do have things that need to be sharpened. So I have things that need to be sharpened, but they are not immediate, urgent. That's why I'm sitting here doing a video. So yeah, just to give you guys an update on that. All right, guys, I am going to do another video shortly. So you will probably see them they probably will post within a short period of time of each other. And I have to go to my daughter's ice skating today because there is an issue that I want to be present so that I can see exactly what's happening with one of the skating parents. So maybe we'll get to see, maybe you'll see something on the news. Who knows? All right, guys. Love y'all. Take it easy. See ya in, for me, moments. For you guys, hours, possibly. Later. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.